right, everybody. All right, thanks for being here. My name is Tony Procopio. I'm one of the founding advisors here at Think Plus, powered by Think Energy. We're going to share with you our Jumpstart training today, which will give you basically just enough information to make you lethal out in the world, right? To make you effective out in the world, and especially effective to your bank account and to helping people. So if you like to help people and you would like to enhance your bank account, that's what we're going to talk about today. So my wife and I are traveling back from Texas. We're in Virginia right now, and we had an incredible time out in the state of Texas. Things are just happening, and the business is growing all over the country. Texas, our newest market to launch, and to see the excitement and the enthusiasm, and just people who've been in network marketing before, people who haven't been in network marketing before, people from the energy sector, not from the energy sector, literally all walks of life, you know, building and moving forward with this and getting promoted. We're about to have our first directors come out of the state of Texas, and that is an exciting time as well. So, you guys, this is I found a new line when we went down to Texas. I kept saying you guys, and they were like, "Well, we say y'all down here," and I knew that because I've been a bunch of times. And then on our way back from Texas, we stopped to get an oil change in the car, and we were in Texarkana, right on the Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana border. And the person who came up to us and asked us if we wanted an oil change, he said, "Y'all guys want an oil change." So now we have a new line that bridges the North and the South together, the entire country, y'all guys. So there it works. It works great. So we're excited about that. Let's get in to talk about our Jumpstart training and kind of how we do this. Have a couple announcements as well, right just before we get into that. One of them is that we have a leadership summit coming to Kauai, Hawaii, and anybody can get on this. It's anybody's game, and we're going to be bringing a lot of people on this trip. I don't know exactly how many, but it's going to be in the many, many, many dozens of people. And potentially it could be more than that because of the way the promotions are set up. So anyone between now and the end of the year, reach regional director or be one of the top two directors with open line production. Like after you go director, you keep going and keep building, and your team keeps building. You will then be able to get onto that trip automatically. That's an automatic qualification if you are any of these things that you see on the screen. And then as you promote higher and higher, you get more luxurious trips, more additional days added, additional perks and airfare credits and all those things added. So this is something that the company is paying for, two people to go. These are trip for two for each one of these positions. So definitely get there. We're going to be bringing a lot of people there. We already have a large group of people who are already there. And then we have the mentor promotion going on. So because we added these two new ways to earn with the mentor promotion, level 1 and level 2 mentor CABs, customer acquisition bonuses, whenever you bring in a new person, a new advisor onto your team between now and the end of October. So we have about almost 6 weeks roughly. Or I guess we have about 5 weeks. Bring a new advisor in, help them to get a customer, and that's 2 points for you. When that advisor brings in a new advisor on your level 2, and then that person gets a new customer, you get 1 point for that. So you start accumulating these points. And then they'll take those points, and those are basically like tickets in a raffle. And then we're going to be raffling off 2 spots for 2 EAs plus a guest. So one EA wins, great, plus a guest. Another EA wins, great, plus a guest. So 4 people altogether, but 2 EAs plus a guest will be able to win a trip to Kauai, Hawaii on our leadership summit. And if you do this 5 times, like you bring in 5 new advisors on your team, and then each of those new advisors go and get 1 customer, and you do that between now and October 31st, then they will double those raffle points, and now your chances of winning go up dramatically. So definitely take advantage of that. And we already have some people taking advantage of this in the state of Texas. We will have a lot of people from the state of Texas who qualify for this leadership summit just by reaching director and having 400 customers. So this is for anybody. You don't have to live in Texas. We have people in California that are probably going to qualify. They will. We have people in California, advisors in California, that are going to qualify for this trip because they reached out to people in Texas and they're about to go director from the state of California. And they're going to have 400 of their customers to get to director. 400 of their team customers will come from Texas. And so that will get them on the trip. So this is by the end of 12/31. Now, here's the other part of this. Between now and October and October 31st, any customers that come into Texas that are band 2, you'll get 2 points. So it'll count as 2 customers. And a lot of customers in Texas are band 2. They use a lot more electricity than in the other states. Band 3, they're a band 3, you get 3 customer points for that. So you can see how people in Texas are able to get on this trip quickly. We have people who are reaching director with just a few hundred customers from the state of Texas. And you can see why, because they're making the value of those customer points, the TC that you get, is 2 or 3 times in some cases. And those customer points stay there permanently. You guys keep that in mind. A lot of great promotions in place. Anybody can get on these trips. You got anybody can do it. We're going to have people who join in December and go director in December, and they will be on this trip. So that means if we're going to have people that do that in December, we're going to have people who can do that in September, who join in September and October and November as well. So you have a great advantage over people that are coming in November and December to get on this trip if you're with us now. So take advantage of it. And then also be at the New England regional event. We have people coming in from all over the country. I was speaking with someone who's in Texas who is from California, and they said, well, we're flying into the New England regional event. Absolutely. And then somebody from Texas, a bunch of people from Texas said, well, we're going to that event. Absolutely. There's going to be like attendee only bonuses. There's going to be incredible announcements, promotions, giveaways, raffles, parties, all kinds of stuff going on at this event. So you definitely want to be there. We had somebody from Grenada who was in Texas. Somebody from Grenada flew in to build in Texas. I think she's still there. And then she's going somewhere else in the country, and she's going to be going to the New England regional event from Grenada. All right. So definitely get there and get your tickets soon, like right now. Literally go get them, because there's about 40 or 50 tickets left right now. That's how fast we're selling. This will potentially sell out. It will sell out. And unless for some reason, Brad and corporate, they're working to see potentially if we have to get a larger space. But spaces are booked in advance at these locations, like at Foxwoods. So we're not sure if we can get a larger space. So if we can't get a larger space, this thing will sell out. So don't leave it to chance. Okay, don't leave it up to Foxwoods to see if you can get a ticket later. Like, get it now and get in there. All right, so be at that event. So Jumpstart, we're going to go through this quickly just to let you know how our system works from the start. You're a brand new advisor, you're looking to get questions answered. How do I do this? We'll get to some Q&A at the end. Feel free to put them in the chat as we're going. But this is going to be information to get you started, the basic building blocks of our business. And one of the things that you want to do is download this Fast Track to Success pamphlet. It's several pages. It includes our memory jogger, but get it at bit.ly/thinkbigdocuments. Go and do that and get this. Make multiple copies of it. Have them available for you and your team, and use it. It will it will help you stay on track with everything that you need to do. Now, one of the big things that you need to keep track of as well is, what is your reason why you're doing this? Like, why do you focus on your reason why? If you don't have a white hot burning desire reason why you're doing this, you're not going to go very far, because the minute someone says, well, that won't work, or they shoot you down, and they will, people are going to try to steal your dream in this thing. They're definitely going to do it until they're educated about it. They're going to think it doesn't work. It's just how people are. It's going to happen. So if you have a big reason why, that doesn't bother you. You're like a rhinoceros, then you have thick skin. And when someone tells you that what you're doing is a scam, or it's illegal, or it's unethical, or all these crazy things that people come up with, Who knows what? It's none of those things. But if they think that it won't work or they tell you that it won't work, that doesn't mean it's not going to work. It just means that they need some more education. They need to get some questions in. But if you have your reason why and you've identified it, then that will help you get through the peaks and valleys. It'll help you when times are good, definitely, and it'll help you when times are tough. And you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days in this. It's the way it works, but it's worth it. So maybe you have some reasons why, and I'm helping you to identify some of those things that you're looking for now. Maybe you see some things on the screen here that are of interest to you. Right now, for my wife and I, we are interested in paying for our granddaughter's college fund. And so child's education is very important to us, but also more time, more money, financial freedom. Those are the things that people are looking for in their lives. I know a lot of people who have a lot of money. I know a lot of people who have a lot of time, but I don't know a lot of people who have a lot of both outside of this industry. And so you can go ahead and do those things that you want to do with your life and get the things that you're looking for out of your life and out of your time. So I asked the question, if time and money didn't matter, like if you had all the time and all the money that you wanted in your life, what would you be doing? Would you be doing the same thing you're doing now, full time with your career or profession, or part time or whatever you do? And if you have something that you would do that you're not doing now, that if you had all the time and all the money you wanted in your life, and time and money were no longer stressful things in your life, and there was something that you want to do if you had all of those things, and you had the time and the money, and you're not doing it now, then I suggest you put in a part-time effort in this business without interfering with your current core career or profession. Do exactly what you're doing now, but on a part-time basis, do this so that you can get as much time and as much money freedom as you want and not have money be a stressful thing in your life anymore. And then go do the thing that you're thinking about now when I asked you that question. What would you do if time and money didn't matter? That's how this works. And so it's not going to happen over time. I mean, overnight, it's going to happen over time. Create a vision board. I see Ned on here, Ned Hill, when we did this vision board thing, he's like, I'd heard about that before. And he's like, and I needed a refresher. And then he called me up. He said, I made my vision board, and he sent this over. He sent over a list. He's got it as his background there on his screen. Go through and look at Ned. He's got his vision board sitting right there. That's a guy who's not going to fail because the vision board, having it there and having it be front and center, it's going to help Ned navigate the knuckleheads in life that are going to try to steal your dream from you. And they will, and it could be your best friend. It could be some of the people that you think would be your biggest supporters in life are going to try to take this away from you, because sometimes people are like crabs in a bucket, when there's one crab in a bucket, it's happy, it stays there. When there's one crab in a bucket, it can just get out, I should say. It sees the barriers, it climbs up the side, and it gets out. When there's multiple crabs in a bucket, they're all going to stay there, because as soon as one tries to get away, the others look and go, where are you going? And they grab the leg and they pull it back in. And so you don't need a cover on a bucket with a bunch of crabs in it, but you need the cover on a bucket that has one. And it's like that in life, isn't it? I mean, that's how this is. So have a vision board and have it front and center. Build it, write it, written down, put it on digital format, put it on your phone, put it on your refrigerator. And then it's just about getting to the fundamentals. Here's the first fundamental, the written list. This is the number one thing that you need to do. So having your reason why, focusing on that, and having a vision board. Those are great. Anybody can do that. And nobody's better at it than anybody else because it's unique to you. Same thing with the written list. Nobody's better at it than you. Just go do it. And if you use our memory jogger and you go through and find everybody that you've ever known in your life anywhere, I mean, literally anybody you've ever known anywhere in your life, find those people and put them on a list. It's the building block of our business. It's the inventory for what we do. I like to say it's like the blueprint of your business. Like if you were looking to build a really big house, right, you would want a really big set of blueprints. And if you wanted to build a really small house, a tiny house, you'd have a really small set of blueprints. That's how it is. Same thing with the business. If you want a big business, you need a big list. If you don't want a big business, then don't make a big list. That's, some people just want to make, a couple $100 a month in this thing. That's fine. Other people want to make a couple thousand. Some people want to make, tens of thousands. And then many other people, they want to earn hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I talked to somebody when we were in Houston that said, "Hey, I want to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month." And I was like, "Man, that's a big thinker. Do we have that in this business?" Yeah, we have the ability to do that in this business. We will have people doing that next year, probably, in this business. And then I had somebody in Dallas, in Fort Worth, the next day, say to me, "Well, I heard you talking to the person that said they want to make 100,000 a month, and you said it was doable." And this guy said to me, "Well, I want to make a couple $1 million a month. Can that be done?" And I said, "Absolutely. Look at the way the comp plan works. It's just going to take you longer, but we do have the ability to do that." And so, who are you going to put on this list? You know, put people on your list that you want to reach out to that are the best people that you know first. People you would put on your board of directors if you owned a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Who would you fill up these seats with in your life? Committed, hardworking people of integrity, people that are coachable, people that are money motivated, people who have a sphere of influence. Put the best of the best on your list. We have a memory jogger that teaches you how to do this. You don't even have to, all you have to do is be able, as long as you can read this or someone can read it to you, you can build a list. So go build your list. Use this memory jogger. It goes through every possible category of person that you can think of. People that are ambitious. Who's your accountant? Who's your CPA? Address books. Who sold you your air conditioner? Goes through categories of occupations like actor to zoologist, A through Z. It goes through names, Aaron through Zelda. If you spend time doing this, my wife and I did, it took us 3 hours to go through this exercise. And in that 3 hours, we had 699 names on our list. And out of 699 names on our list in that 3 hour space in the energy sector, all stemming from that first 3 hours. We literally built an empire that allowed us to leave our jobs and our core careers and professions behind. We thought we loved what we were doing in our lives until we had more money and more time than we thought we would ever have. When we had all the time we wanted and all of our bills were paid and we didn't have to worry about money anymore, then we realized we didn't really love doing what we were doing as much as we thought we did when we needed it. It's amazing when you think about that, amazing what your mind does when you have options. And so building this list is the written fundamental of what you need to do. It gives you a place to put 100 names. You might need to print up this list right here, this last 3 pages of it, 3, 4, 5 times, 6 times. You should have at least 100 names. I think everybody should, if you don't have 200 to 500 names on your list, you're prejudging people. Use this tool. And then once you have that list, it's all about the invitation. If you could choose one skill that you'd be great at in this business, it would be invitation. Like that's what I would choose. That's what every leader would probably tell you. We have a Think Connect app that lets your invitations be seamless. It allows you to make them, put them on autopilot, so to speak. It'll track everything that you're sending out to people and let you know when they're seeing it, when they're looking at it. But the invitation also includes customers. So go out and gather your first 5 or 10 customers within 24 to 48 hours and earn $100 to $200. I need to change that right now while I'm looking at this, because if you were to gather 10 customers in the state of, think about this. I'm gonna do this in real time while we're here, because if you were to gather, 5 customers in the state of Maine and in other states as we go, because we're getting ready to launch other states as well here. But think about this, and I'm just going to do that because I want to change this and make this notation here while we're on this call, because this is very important. If you gathered 10 customers in the state of Maine and they were community solar customers, congratulations, you just earned $1,200 in 24 hours. Yeah, this is no joke, you guys. We have a lot of money here in this compensation plan. So $100 is if you gather 5 customers in the state of, say, New York that are electricity customers, or Ohio or Texas. You're going to get $20 a customer times 5. So you can earn anywhere from $100 to $1,200 just by gathering 5 to 10 customers in 24 to 48 hours. Why wouldn't you do it? It becomes your story that you can ride for the rest of your career. Like, think about this. Here would be a great invitation. You go do this. And let's say it's 24 hours right now. You just go do it starting tomorrow, starting today, 24 to 48 hours. And you say to somebody, in 24 to 48 hours, I earned $100 to $1,200. Would you like to, on a part-time basis, without selling anything, without asking people for money, and helping people along the way, putting money back into their pocket, in 24 to 48 hours, I made $100 to $1,200. Would you like to see how I did it without interfering with anything that you're currently doing? That would be a great invitation. If you told me you made, like, let's go middle of the road, $600. If you told me you made $600 in 24 hours and you did it without selling anything, I would want to find out what you're doing. So teach people to do this. Do it yourself so that you can have that story long term. It's very simple. This is how you gather customers. There's lots of ways. We're going to do some spotlights and highlights on customer gathering. We're going to do that on these calls coming up. As we're going forward, we're going to mix it up and bring people in from all different states that are gathering customers, from all different walks of life that are gathering customers. We're going to have young and old, men and women, people who are from Texas, people who are from California, people who are from Canada that are gathering customers in Think Energy in the United States, people from New York and Maine, people from Pennsylvania. We're going to get them onto these calls so you can hear from them. But here's a simple way. Hey, I recently started a business and I need a favor. You don't even have to tell them you recently started a business. You could just say, hey, friend, I need a favor. They'll say, well, what's the favor? Whenever I ask people for a favor, I always preface it with this. I say, listen, I'm going to ask you for a favor, but it's not for money and it's not for time. So I'm not looking for your time and I'm not looking for your money. Now, can I ask you the favor? That kind of settles people down a little bit because they immediately say when you're asking them a favor that you're looking for money or time. So you just say, hey, if I could save you some money or if I could get you a competitive fixed long-term rate on your electric bill and it's not going to cost you anything and it's not going to inconvenience you and it would be really important to me, would you try out my service? Simple. Take a screenshot of that and use it. Mix it up however you want. There's no wrong way or right way. There's only go and do it. There's no really wrong way to do this. Just go do it. Just go ask people to do you a favor. You can talk to acquaintances and things like that. That's fine. We have all different types of tools to help you with that. That's not the purpose of this training. But you can talk to people who you do business with as well and ask them, hey, do you do business with people who do business with you? We're just trying to give you the short course on how to gather some customers. And then we have tools to help you do it, as we talked about. We have flyers, we have videos, we have rate comparison guides. You got every month we update the rate comparison guide on the first of the month. Everybody, you should be like clockwork downloading that and having that. You should always have that available in case you get yourself in a position where you're talking to someone who's from the state and the territory where you can help them, and they ask you, well, what's your rate? You want to have it. You want to be prepared. You should know. You should scan through those things and know which are the hot markets, which are the hottest markets, because rates are going to ebb and flow, and each market's going to change up and down, things like that. As far as when they're hot or warm. We don't really have any cold markets. We have hot markets and warm markets. And then it's asking people to take a look. Take a look at the business. Invite prospects that are on your list to take a look, not to join. That's the key. Don't focus on getting people to join. Don't care if they join, only care if they look. Be a mouse when it comes to getting them to join. Like, who cares? I don't care if you join or not. I'm timid. I'm a mouse when it comes to that. But I'm a pit bull or a rhino or a lion when it comes to getting you to look. Like, I'm going to wear you out until you look. I don't care if you do it, but I'm going to be disappointed if you don't. Look. All right? So be brief and be in a hurry. It's like this. I'm glad I caught you really quick. That's what I always, when I'm texting somebody that's on my list, I like to text them and say, hey, do you have a quick minute? I need to run something by you. And they'll say, sure. What do you need? And they call me up. And when I call them up, when they call me up or I call them, I tell them all the same thing. I'm glad I caught you really quick because I'm in a hurry. I want to get off the phone as fast as I can. The purpose of the invitation is to book an appointment to show them the program. That's all it is. The purpose of the invitation is not to show them the plan. Do not collapse the invitation into the presentation. They're two separate events. Okay. So, and they could be fast. It could be both, all one and then the other right after the other. That's fine. But don't collapse them together. Don't invite somebody to take a look and then start talking to them over the phone about how it works. You just told them you're in a hurry. You need to get off the phone. You need to be true to your word. So, are you open to taking a look at a business idea? Or I'd like to get your opinion on something. That's how I got involved. My friend called me up that I hadn't, in when I first got involved in this industry. My friend called me up, hadn't talked to him in, I don't know, 6 months, a year. And he called me up. He said, "Hey, Tony, I'd like to get your opinion on something." And I said, "Well, what is it?" And he said, "I'll show you when I get there." See, that was the invitation. Then when he got there, it was the presentation. And then he had me take a look at a video. At that time, it was an audio recording. That's how old this, that's how long I've been in the business, in the industry. So that's where it is. So I'd like to get your opinion, or I'd like to run something by you. Do you keep your options open? No, whenever I ask people if do you keep your options open, I like to be funny about it. Like I like to make it a little. I like to put a smile on their face. And so you can put a smile on somebody's face and really relax it when you say, "Hey, do you keep your options open to making additional income, or do you already have enough income in your life that you don't need any more? Like you're done and you've already made enough money here working at Walmart that you don't need any more in your life, and you're just working here because you like to." They'll smile at you, and it's funny, right? And most of them will say, "Well, is there such a thing as too much money? Like, I don't even know what that means. What's enough money? I don't know." But they'll get a kick out of that. So have fun with it. That's what we're doing. We're having fun with this. Smile a lot. You can make a lot more money if you smile than if you don't smile. And if you have a frown on your face, like if you're sitting there and you look like you just ate a sour lemon, people are not going to join you. Okay. Like you don't want to look like that. You want to be happy. Before I call people up and prospect them, I always make sure I get into a happy mood, right? I'll either wake myself up or yell or just think about things that are, happy. I'll look at my vision board. I'll look on my phone at the things that I want. My wife and I are looking at Class B RVs. One of the things that we did on our way to Texas was we stopped in at the largest RV show in America on our way to Texas, and we got in to some RVs that we sat in them, we looked at them, we smelled the leather, we sat in the driver's seat, we tried out all the widgets in these RVs, we figured out which ones we want. We thought we knew which one we wanted, but by going on to YouTube and looking at stuff, and when we got to the RV show, we got ourselves in there, we realized, boy, there's some other ones here that we like even better. So that's what I like to do. I always get myself into a happy place before I prospect with someone. And if you just had a tough situation at work, at your regular career, get yourself out of that mindset before you go and make a phone call. Even if it's just 20 seconds, call your upline, the person you're working with, your sponsor, and be like, "Look, I just had a challenging day and I need you to pump me up a little bit before I go make some calls. What's going on in Think Energy that I should know about that I don't know?" Like, do stuff like that. Okay. Be on your A game. Okay. With people, try to be on your A game as much as you can, and you'll have more success, because 70% of the people that you show this thing to, they're not going to be interested to do this. They're not going to do it like you do. You might be one of these superstar people in network marketing that you're just so charismatic. You have so much going on. People respect you in life so much that if they're going to do whatever you do, they're going to do. I had somebody tell me I called 100 people and 98 of them joined. And I said, "Well, good for you," because that's not most people. Okay. And that's not very duplicatable. um, and that could, that's good. It's a good thing. But I'll tell you this, 98 out of 98 are not going to do it, because it's only if about 30% of those 98 are going to go out and do it anyway. And now you've got to sort through those people. And, if you're just convincing people into joining your team, then you're going to waste your time with a lot of people. And I don't like to waste my time. I always say this to people too. I'm like, who do you think, I don't like to waste, I don't want to waste your time. So please don't join me if it's not something you want to do. Tell me no if it's a no. Please don't waste my time. please don't waste your own time. But I'll say to people, whose time do you think that I don't want to waste, more than yours? I'll say that to them. Whose time do you think I want to waste less than yours? And they'll say, yours. I'm like, yeah, that's right. I don't want to waste your time, but I also don't want to waste mine. So you're going to have some people who are going to join your team and they're not going to do it. You'll have some people who won't join your team and they're not going to do it either. But you're sorting through people to find the 30% of the people who will. You're sorting through the masses. That's what you're doing. You're sorting through the masses, as you see on the screen here. Somebody said to me, hey, Tony, you should probably take the M in masses and move it over to the, and then read the sentence. You guys can get that if you're paying attention. So sort through the masses. Find people who want it worse than you. I know a friend of mine who's made, I don't know, tens of millions of dollars in network marketing that said, that's what you're looking for. The secret is to find people who want it worse than you. Here's some key lines and key thoughts. There's a chance that this might work out. It might be for you, it might not be. That's a great thing. That relaxes people. I don't want you to be mad at me later if I didn't show you. That's why I'm showing you now. Eventually somebody on my team is going to reach out to you. It might as well be me. It's 99% visual. If they ask you anything about it, hey, it's going to take me 45 minutes to explain this, but after you see it, we'll have a more informed conversation. Here's a great thing to say to people. I know a friend of mine in upstate New York, very timid, very reserved, but very confident, after she started working this. And the reason she became so confident is because she found a way, a key line that allowed her to build. She didn't like all the other examples of how you reach out to people, but she heard this one or somewhere or made it up. And she heard it somewhere and she took it into her own persona and incorporated it into her style. And she asked people and she said, look, I'm not going to be disappointed if you don't join my team or if you won't be my customer, but I'll be very disappointed if you don't at least take a look. I mean, how disarming is that, you guys? Like if y'all guys, if you said no to someone that asked you kindly this question, like said this to you, they made this statement and you didn't take a look, then you are kind of a jerk. Okay? Just bottom line, you're a jerk, not them. And so that's how it is. And if you get these real sometimes knuckleheads, or just people, maybe even not even knuckleheads, but they're just so curious and they're like so excited about what you just talked about, they want to know more and they just will not let it go until you give them something else. I had this one guy say, I'm not gonna take 2 minutes to look at a video until you tell me everything about it. And I'm like, well, then you're never gonna see it unless I ask you these 3 questions. So let me ask you this, because it's gonna take me 45 minutes to explain it. I don't have that kind of time. So if you won't take a look at something that's only a couple minutes long, because I won't give you further information, then you're never going to see it because I don't have that kind of time right now. I'll get back to you in 2 months when call you back then. But if they ask you questions, they're just like, look, before you send me anything over, I need to know more about this. Great, ask them these questions. How many people do you know who use electricity? I like to ask a question. I answer a question with a question. And then they'll say everybody, and you say, well, how many of them do you think would either, like a more stable bill, like to pay less, or maybe even get their electricity for free? They'll say, is that even real? Like everybody would want that, I think. And great. Well, how would you like to get paid every time people use electricity? Like every time they flip on a light switch, you get paid simply because you help them make better energy choices. Ask the 3 questions. Be prepared for these. As an advisor, you should have these questions memorized that you could wake up out of a sound sleep and just say them. Everybody should have these down. These key lines. This business, I had somebody who made almost $100 million in this industry. Tell me this a long time ago. I've never forgotten it. This business is built from one key line to the next. And if you can learn the lines, you can learn the responses, you can tame the lion. Actually, 2 people who've made nearly $100 million that told me that. I kind of put them together. But that's how it is. This is built from one key line to the next. If you can unlock, if you can learn these lines and these responses, you're going to do very well. Plus, and you send information over to them, you better tell them about Google reviews. You better tell them. You better tell them that they're going to find some negative stuff from the old Think Energy, but the new one is rock solid. And that, we're crushing it. The last 6 months, we took a negative rating of 1.5 with 1.4 with 10 years of negative reviews. We took that. We still have those reviews there because it's still the same name of the company. But now under new ownership and new service offerings and new way of doing business, we've taken 10 years of negative ratings and in 6 months turned it into a 4.4 out of 5 because we're doing business the right way. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, zero time on presentation because the ways to present the Think overview are there already. You don't have to be good at this. You don't have to present it. If you want to, you can. But we have a video, we have Zoom meetings. You can invite people to coffee and flip through some PowerPoint slides or show the video. You can go to a local meeting and have someone else show it. You can do a home party, a home meeting, a home launch, and invite your sponsor or your upline or your business partners to come in and do the meeting with you. You can ask someone to do a 2-on-1. Hey, can you meet me for coffee with my prospect? And then it's just about asking for a decision after you show them. Does it make sense to you? What did you like best? I like to ask both of those in a row. Don't say, does it make sense? Because it already does make sense. If you ask someone, does that make sense? It's like you don't know that it makes sense already. And you're wondering if their opinion will actually legitimize what you're doing. This already makes sense. This is already a rocket ship. We're already breaking records. So does it make sense to you? Different question. Then once they say, yeah, it makes sense to me, great. What did you like best? And if they tell you what they like best, well, great. I love that too. Always agree with them. Yep, it's one of my favorite things about it because it's all good. What else did you like best? You might have to prod people for it. You might have to say, don't, they're not going to answer. What are they? They're going to say yes or no. They say yes, you sign them up. Maybe you use this one on a scale of 1 to 10. 1, you're not interested. 0 interest. 10, you're ready to get started. Where are you on that scale? And then they're going to ask you some questions. If they're a 1, make them a customer. If they're 10, make them an advisor. What questions can we answer for you? It's normal. You want them to ask you questions so you can show them that you have a system in place to get those questions answered. And they don't need to be the know-it-all on this project. They don't need to know everything about this to do it. So, 10% of those people are going to say, yeah, I'm ready now. 10% are going to say, nope, not interested. Probably the other 80% are just going to be a maybe. That's natural. And then the best way to get their questions answered is to validate it by getting them onto a 3-way call with a leader or bring them up to a leader immediately following the presentation. If you're live right there with them, get them to a leader to have the leader answer questions. Set up your call in advance. Make sure you call them. Don't call them your upline, call them your business partner. And you build each of them up to each other. Tell the potential advisor why your business partner is a great person, a great leader. And tell the business partner why you like your potential advisor and why they'd be a great advisor on the team. I love to always, when I'm doing these 3-way calls, the last thing I like to say is, hey, I say, hey, I have Jim on the line. Jim, I'd like you to meet Mary. Mary's one of my business partners. She's very successful. She knows everything about how to do this business, and she can answer all your questions. There's nobody better to get your questions answered. And then I'll say, great. And Mary, this is Jim. Jim's just taken a look at this for the first time. And Jim would be an amazing advisor if he were to join our team. Mary, meet Jim. Jim, meet Mary. Make it simple. Keep it real simple. Do it as soon as possible. Don't wait because, again, time kills deals and you're in a hurry. Don't waste your time or theirs. Very simple, you guys. There's other ways to validate it. If you can't get the three-way call done, or you can't get the business partner with them face to face or on the phone, then use some of the things to drip on them until you can. Get them, set it up later. Get them on a Zoom call, a training event, a press release. Send them some local meeting events. Bring them to a local meeting. Use the app to send information out to them. And then, still, even after they get their questions answered, some of them are going to be ready to go, some of them aren't. And if they're a maybe, like, you kick them off the fence. Ready to get started? Great, got your questions answered. You kick them off the fence. If they're still sitting on the fence, then just kick them off the fence like that squirrel that you see sitting there. Go to the written list and ask them, hey, squirrely person that's sitting on the fence that I already got your questions answered. We've shown you the business 5 times. You've been in a bunch of meetings. I've done the drip campaign on you. We provided every piece of information that you're looking for, and you're still squirrely on the fence. Hey, that person. Who's the first person you thought of who would want to save money, get free energy, or make money every time someone uses electricity? This is the question that kicks them off the fence. If they make any excuse as to why they don't know anyone, they're not an advisor. You're wasting your time right now. Maybe later. Sign them up as a customer. And if they're ready to put a written list together, you say, yeah, I know somebody that would be good at this. He's a realtor in our town. I think he was involved in the energy sector before, maybe. Or, yeah, great. Go show that person. I don't care when you're new advisor. If they start building that written list, start the system over again. Build the list, make the invitation, show the plan. Who cares when they join? They'll join when the time is ready, when the time is right. Some people say, well, I don't have $129 right now to join. Well, who said we needed $129 to get you started? That's just for you to become an advisor. We can get you started before you become an advisor. I don't care when you spend $129 to get in. Let's go show some people that you know this program, and we'll find the money along the way. Like right now, if I had somebody that wanted to join your team, even though you don't have $129, how fast do you think you would come? All of a sudden that money would appear? If I had 2 or 3 people that wanted to join your team as advisors and they were ready to blow this thing up, how soon do you think you come up with $129? They'll be like, well, I just call my mother and borrow it. Exactly. So I don't care when we get the money. Let's go show this to some people. It's rinse and repeat, you guys. You do it over and over again using the tools, and don't try to be the hammerhead tool like you see here. Don't try to be that person. Just use the tools that we have. And as long as you never give up, like this mouse, he's going to get that cheese. He found a way. That mouse found a way. She's ready to go. She found the helmet, and now you're going to go in there and get that cheese. So that's how we are with this. Just never give up. So questions. We'll get to some questions if we have any. I'm going to put up on our screen our kind of schedule of events throughout the week. And so Travis, Johnny, to everyone. Travis, hi, Debbie. Great, Johnny, having people on there. Appreciate it. Debbie, thanks for being here. And Travis, great info. You're fired up. All right, I'm glad to have you here as well. Good morning to Coach Francie. Thanks for being here. Tina, thanks for being here. Good morning. Yeah, from Maryland. Great. From Houston, Travis, that's where you are. Great to have you here. Fantastic. Lubbock, from Lubbock via Missouri, Debbie. I love it. Lubbock is about to deregulate. Big deal going on. Big deal going on right there. There you go, Regina. Thanks for putting the Google Drive link in there. It's up on the screen as well. bit.ly/thinkbigdocuments, or the link that you see there. All right, well needed on a rainy day from York, PA. We're about headed toward the York, PA area, Coach Francie, so thanks for being here. Looking to see Julie. Beth is brand new from Buffalo. Fantastic. Welcome on, Beth. Thanks for being here. I'm headed to Lubbock tomorrow, Johnny, and I know why. Definitely. Lubbock is going to be an incredible market. Beth Cornelius, hello to you as well. So thanks for being here. Lori, thanks, Tony, to Safe Travels. Thank you. Appreciate that. We're having fun with this. An iPhone, great training. Appreciate that as well. We're definitely having fun. I'm going to make it so that anybody can unmute themselves. Let me do that. If you have a question that you want to raise your hand about or unmute yourself, I'm going to mute all, but make it so you can unmute yourself. Okay, so feel free. If anybody wants to chime in, you have any questions that you're driving or whatever, feel free.
Good morning, Tony. This is Coach Francie.
Coach, how are you?
I am doing fantastic. I heard you mention you're going to be near York. What particular area? Uh,
Oh, in York,
yeah.
PA? We're heading
Yeah.
back to Connecticut. I'm actually in. I just crossed over into Virginia, and we're heading back up Connecticut. And we're going to be going.
Okay, so you're going to be driving through. Yes, I'm familiar with the highways and roads.
We're
Okay.
going to be driving on through. Absolutely.
I didn't
We're
know if I missed the special drop-in meeting that I could pop in on, so that's why I wanted to ask.
Oh yeah, no, we're not doing a meeting. We're on our way back home, trying to get back home as fast as we can, to get back. It's been we've been on the road for I think almost 3 weeks. So
Right,
we're
right. Yeah, I've been keeping
time.
track, and we've got a bit of a rainstorm, a part of what everybody else is going through, I presume. So be careful with your travels.
Yes, indeed. We have some events coming up in the PA market. I think we have a big event coming up. There's several events, that are going on, regular events, but I think we have Mike Falk was coming in the middle of October, as well to Central PA.
Yes, and that's what I want to keep track of and make note of and schedule it in.
Definitely. Yep, definitely. So it's up on thinksuccess.plus, so definitely check that out.
Yepper, I thank you so much.
All right. Thanks for being here.
Tony, I'm not sure if you can hear me.
I
Got my
can.
hand raised. I'm unmuted.
Eric, how are you?
Yes. Good. Fantastic. Listen, I have a question for you that's been coming up a lot. And
Okay.
one of them is for the free energy. A lot of
Okay.
people are saying it's kind of challenging, so to speak, to use email. And they was wondering if they can text or put phone number in. Uh, they believe it's a lot quicker. A lot of them have to search emails or call people to get emails. So I was wondering if that's something that could be done in the near future.
I will tell you this, Eric. It is something that corporate is looking into. What we have is, texting. Email is a little different because sometimes, text is like sometimes texting costs money for some people. And so when you text them without permission, it creates an issue for just uh, like compliance reasons in a state or federally. And so that's one of the reasons why. But we're looking into ways to do that. So to make it a little easier for the customer to get that information out. Plus, we're also working on making ways so that the email that goes out doesn't end up in the promotions folder on somebody's Gmail or in their spam folder, which is kind of what you're talking about. The email, as long as the email hits the top of their inbox, we're good usually. It's just that sometimes sometimes the email doesn't quite make it there. So or it's in spam or it's in another folder. So yeah, we know what you're talking about there. We're definitely always looking into to make that a simpler process. And I know that Think Energy will do everything that they can to make that happen. I mean, they want it to be as easy and seamless as possible. So I'll bring it up again just on our weekly calls with the company when we talk to them, just to see if there's any further information, and then we'll get back to you on it. But we're definitely knocking on the door of that constantly. There may be some other avenues. One of the things that people have been doing is like whenever I do it, I always text them to let them know to check their email. So, and I do it before I say, hey, sometime in the next 5 minutes, you're going to get an email. It's going to come from Think Energy, and it's going to have my name on it. But I want to let you know that it's coming so that you can take advantage of this, because I want to help you get free energy just like I'm getting, because it's like ridiculous for us to pay for energy anymore when you can actually get it for free. So I send that text to people, and then I say, once you get the email, if you have any questions, give me a call. So then it's kind of like I've really, really kind of made it so that they really want to see that. I've given them a reason to go and check that out, like planted that seed with them. Like, why should we be paying for energy anymore? It's so stupid to do that. We have a much better way. So, Eric, that's what we're doing for now, and we'll look into it further and get back.
Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you bringing that up. It's very important. We want to get that free energy to happen as seamlessly and as quickly as possible. Definitely. So thanks for that. All right. Anybody else? Questions, comments, concerns? Travis, where can we get the recorded video? Would like to listen to this again. It will be posted in our YouTube channel. So yep, just do that. You can go to youtube.com/@thinkbiggest, and it will be posted there. We'll get that posted sometime today, tonight, as soon as possible. All right. So Travis, I can tell that you're hungry and thirsty with your comments and questions and your excitement as well. So Regina, thanks for that. Safe travels. We'll see you on November 11th. Yes, indeed. Everybody needs to be there. It's a big deal, you guys. It is a big deal. We're going to do some giveaways there that are going to be awesome. Only for attendees that are present, have to be present. All right. I'm going to give it the auctioneer style thing, right? Since we're taking everybody's Saturday. So going once, going twice, going 3 times. I don't see any hands raised. Or maybe Lavanda's stepping in there.
Hey, Tony.
All right. Hey, Lavanda, how are you?
I'm doing super duper.
All right. Fantastic.
I just have a comment that you and Diana are super awesome. And we couldn't ask for better leadership. You're a master trainer on all levels. I don't know if people know that, but on all levels, headhunter, researcher, you're in the midst of traveling and you pull over to give us training and we don't even have to pay you, but just put customers
well, there you
in.
go.
Hey, Diana.
Hey, Lavanda. I'm missing your lemon cake.
Oh, I know. I was actually going to bring some to Texas. That's a long story, but I make up for it.
All right, Lavanda.
I miss you guys. I wish I was there.
We miss you too.
Look, we know we're all going to be traveling the world together, you included. So I can't wait to, congratulations.
Yes, we are. I'd love to travel. Gotta rack up some travel miles. Yeah.
Absolutely. Keep the pedal to the metal. Thank you so much for leading the.
Thank you, Procopios. You're amazing.
All right. You have a great one. We'll be back out in Cincinnati very soon.
All right, everybody. Have a blessed day.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Awesome.
All right. Take care, everybody. Any other questions? Do we have everybody covered? All right.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Back to your day. Keep making it happen. Tony Procopio and with Diana, over and out from somewhere in Virginia.
Tony.
Thank you.
All right. We'll talk to you
Great
soon.
day. Great.
Talk to y'all guys soon. That's the new y'all guys. All right, everybody, put that in your brain. Y'all guys.
You all.
There you go. I love it. All right, everybody.
Thank you, Tony.